We are
see you
here.
guys.
Awesome. We are here at Oshkosh Live, powered by Redbird Flight. The show continues. Another great guest. Want to introduce Bo with Bravo Golf Watches.
Yes,
I just
sir.
want to say, Bo and I met just a couple days ago at the flying party, and it was actually just two bros admiring each other's style. 'Cause
That's right.
I have it, and clearly he does as well.
Yeah, totally.
And that's what guys do at cocktail parties. They
That's
give
right.
each other compliments on their looks.
100%.
And it started, we were just chopping it up, and he just fell into, I think I just admired the watch before I even knew he had a watch company, and he showed it off, and then the story went from there, and I'm actually really excited to share that with everybody here, Bo. So anyway, first off, welcome. Great to see you
Sean.
again.
Good to see you.
So maybe for everyone at home, let's maybe give us the origin story. Tell us
Yeah,
about
of
Bravo
course.
Golf, and
Absolutely.
give us a little high-level overview.
I love that you asked me about the origin story first. Most people say, tell me about the watch, but
Yeah.
I can't tell you about the watch unless I tell you about the origin story.
Yeah.
So I'm a commercial pilot by trade. Flew for about 7 or 8 years professionally. I always loved watches. I always, was a fan of the Breitlings and the Balls and the Bell and all beautiful timepieces. But you have to save for those, and as you go, that becomes sort of a signature piece that you want to get. I thought it'd be cool while I was flying, though. As a flight instructor, what do you make an hour? $10, $15 an hour as a flight instructor. I remember my first flying job, I towed banners on the beach, and I got paid like $8 an hour to do that. So you're flying for passion, like all of us are. So, but you don't make a lot of money. So it's really hard to have nice things. So that's what gave me the idea initially. I said it'd be so nice one day to have a high-quality timepiece that pilots could approach that was a little bit more affordable, but that also concerned itself with their feedback directly. So that's how we started. We actually sent a survey out to pilots on social media, and in 7 weeks, we asked them, what do you want to watch? I had 6 or 7 features I wanted them to rate. In 7 weeks, I had over 1,800 responses.
Yeah, I was reading about that.
Yeah, it was crazy. So it was pretty remarkable. I thought I might have 100 people respond. So when I saw that number come through,
Because pilots don't have opinions.
yeah,
right?
exactly right. Yeah, they're all very opinionated. So, which is okay. I can say that because I'm a pilot. So it's all right. But it was great. We took that data and we created our first product from there.
Well, I don't know if we're going to be able to get a close-up, but I think the face of this watch really needs to be, and not to put you on the spot, Bo, to kind of describe what people are seeing, but clearly a watch, like the phrase you use, for pilots, by pilots. But what you explained to me the other day, like really the philosophy and what you were going for. Would you mind kind of sharing that?
Yeah, absolutely. So our philosophy is to do less, but do it well. So we're less complex, we're less bulky, and we're a little bit more affordable. So what we heard in the data is that most pilots on their wrists really just want a quick GMT to local conversion. So that's what we created. So if you see our watches online, if you go to flybravogolf.com, you'll see that we have a crescent window on our watch. That is the GMT time, and the hands are the local time. GMT watches have been around for a long time. It's nothing new. So we took that and we iterated on it. So instead of having a 4th hour hand, we just removed that and we put the GMT time in a crescent window to make it a little bit more intuitive.
It was a great quote of yours, which was, the cockpit doesn't fit on your wrist and it's not supposed to.
That's
That
right,
was very
man.
astute.
That's right. It's interesting. I never used an E6B on my watch. I never used a slide rule or anything like that because all of that stuff exists in the cockpit, and there's enough distractions out there already. So we just wanted to make something that was simple, didn't add to the distractions, and, at best could help you with your GMT to local conversion.
Yeah. If I can jump back, because that was one of the things I wanted to talk about was your survey and all the responses you got. Like, what were the loudest voices as far as, or things that you heard maybe the most on repeat as you went through all those responses?
It's actually really remarkable. I'm a bit of a data nerd, so we had quantitative data and qualitative data. Quantitative data is numeric, qualitative are comments. So in the quantitative data, the highest rated feature was we want a quick GMT to local conversion, and that was it. It was just give me something that's easy to understand those 2 time zones. But when I looked into the comments and the qualitative data, the most remarked point that people made was we want it to be durable. It's got to last. I'm in the cockpit, I'm banging it on stuff, I'm walking around with it. So we actually put sapphire crystal as part of the glass. It's got PVD coated stainless steel. We give you a 2-year manufacturer's warranty, and I've had mine in 4-degree weather. I've had it in the ocean. I've had it in the lake. You know, I've put it through the rounds, and it's held up, so it's very durable.
And I also see that you customize it by doing some etching on it for everybody as well. Can you share a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So, you know, this ultimately, I wanted to help pilots celebrate and commemorate their journey. There's so many milestones that we all have as aviators. So I thought it'd be a really cool thing to offer a complimentary engraving of your airman number or a date that's specific to you, like your solo date or the date you passed your check ride. So we offer that at no additional charge. You get 12 characters on 2 separate lines, so 24 characters total. And you can do that online at checkout.
So we're here at Oshkosh. No shortage of pilots, no shortage of opinions.
Right.
Again, reacted very immediately when we were talking the other night. What are you hearing here?
You know, it's a great question. So this show is as much for me about research as it is about selling watches. We've had so many of our current customers come up to us, and I always have 2 questions for them. I say, how did you hear about us, and what made you decide to buy the watch? Most people hear about us online or through, Flying Magazine. We do ads with you guys.
Yes.
And so those are the channels, but they say, you know what, it's just a really clean watch. It's super simple, and I understand it when I look at it. That has been the feedback across the board. And that's very helpful for me because that helps me, informs our product development life cycle. So you'll see some additional timepieces coming out this spring that follow that, sort of that philosophy.
Yeah, I was about to ask. Certainly, no shortage of directions you can go in the watch spaces, like you said, as you expand the line. But is it too much to think about? Like, are you a watch company? Is that where you see the company being down the road, or do you have your eye on anything else? Can you share or not? Or
We are a watch business. There are so many lessons to learn and relationships to gain in this industry, and we're just going to focus on that lane. We're going to stay in the timepiece lane. But what you can see, we have some really, really cool collaborations coming through. I'll mention one that we're doing already. The Wright family of the Wright brothers reached out to us a year ago, and they said, would you consider licensing our name for a limited edition watch run? It took me half a second to say yes to that. I was like,
how cool.
Yeah, of course. And so we actually produced that with them last summer. It is available for pre-order now. They will be shipping in September. But I worked with Stephen Wright and Amanda Wright directly on that. They opened up the family archives to me. And that series has some very cool Easter eggs. We pulled some things from history that have been lost and incorporated them into that series.
Wow, that's incredibly cool. So for all the people who are clearly going to have the same reaction as me, they're going to want to check it out, learn more about your story. What's the best places for everybody to find you?
Well, if you're here at the show, come see us. We're Hangar C, booth 3168. We'll be there for the rest of the week. I'll be there. My team will be there. I'd love to meet you, love to say hello. Online, you can get to us at flyBravoGolf.com. And at Instagram, we are at FlyBravoGolf.
And I just want to say, for hanging out with you the other night, you're awesome ambassador for the brand. It was great chatting it up with you.
Thank you, Sean.
And hearing your story. So no doubt that this will succeed because you're there to tell that story on behalf of it. So check it out. Bravo Golf watches. They're super slick, super cool. Thank you, Bo from Bravo Golf, for joining us this morning on Oshkosh Live.